Hey, hey, this is Stupid Joe here on the Archangel. A return to Chivalry, so it must be Wednesday. Must be 3 o'clock, because we're here, live, right here, with the sign behind me. There it is. Ooh, and looking at the hat. And don't forget, after this show, you got the 5 o'clock shadow. That's right, with Will Truth It, coming on to you live every day. I think it's every day. Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock. Because that's why he's the 5 o'clock shadow. He'll bring you all kinds of interesting news items and many other things that you're just going to really enjoy hearing. Well, today I got a little bit of topic that I want to try to talk to you. I might not be as articulate and is I'm gonna use his word truthful as it might be, but I'm gonna bring it to you anyway. Today I'm gonna talk about a little bit of knowledge plus information equals ignorance. So that's a small K plus a small I equals a big I. Alright? This happens because there is so much to know in today's world. Today's world is full of all kinds of different facts. It just keeps growing, and it's exponential growing. It's really not out of control, but it is very, very interesting for those who like to stay in contact with everything that's going on. But it can be overwhelming for most people who don't have the ability technologically, or they don't have the passion to want to stay involved with all these things that are changing. Because many people feel satisfied by just knowing enough to be able to talk for 30 seconds on so many different subjects. That so-called elevator conversation seems to be the biggest thing that people really like to engage in. And people like to engage in this too. I think the politicians really enjoy engaging in this, even though their 30 seconds seems to stretch into quite a bit. But in actuality, it's not. They're not having the long speeches that were once famous throughout the world. People getting up there and talking for 2 hours on one subject. You know, they have a lot of different noise making type of things that they say. Most of it negative. And most of it's just garbage from what I understand. But I'm going to talk about that. But right now, that's right, everybody get comfortable in your chair, pull up your favorite drink, put your feet up. Don't worry about a thing, because I'm going to read to you. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to read. I'm going to read the words right out of this book. Because I like this one. I think this pertains to my topic pretty well. So everybody get ready, calm down, sit back, and enjoy what you're about to hear. Eagles and bears. That's right. Let's see how this works. This is a fable actually about raccoon and the freshwater mussel. And it goes like this. After a long bloodiness of the jungle, the animals assembled their delegates in a council. Who put this on the other side? In a council place to put an end to the surge of trouble that established a community of beasts, devoid of teeth and fangs, free from the legacy of fear. Oh, we moved the mic. Okay. That makes a difference. And delegates were soon making speeches, among the longest of which were the speeches of the bear, the eagle, and the lion. It is quite clear, said the bear, pounding the table with his paw, that eagles are up to no good. Everything eagles do is warlike and wrong. Lions are bad too. The jungle would be an excellent place if all animals would act more like bears and would turn matters over to the head bear. Bears are the things. The animals listened attentively to the speech, and the raccoon applauded loudly. Then the eagle rose and opened his beak. The trouble with bears, said he, is that they keep too much to themselves. I would like to see bears mingle more, because a bear likes raspberries. It doesn't mean I like raspberries, because bears sleep in winter. Must the eagle who stays awake be called stupid? Good speech, said the lion. Jolly good. Furthermore, time runs out. Okay? There follows a few other speeches by minor animals. Then the delegates withdraw to their personal jungle. The first to get home was the eagle. What happened? Asked all the eagles. If you were listening to your radio, you know what happened, answered the eagle. There will be a rebroadcast at 10:30 this evening for anyone who missed the proceeding. The lion was the second to get home. What happened? Asked all the lions. Here, read about it, said the lion, handing them a copy of the London Times. The bear was the last to get home. What happened to all the bears? Asked all the bears. Well, said the bear, I simply told the other animals how the eagle and the lion are preparing for war. I explained that the jungle would be all right if everyone would be more like bears and would turn things over to the head bear. I made it clear that bears are the thing. What did the others say to that? Asked the delighted bears. What did they say? Said the bear. Say? Why, they said the same old stuff. What they said was propaganda. You bears don't need to know what they said, because it's without meaning. And the old council bear smiled. That's right. When some of the most inquisitive of bears turned on the radio, all they heard in their radio set was a sigh of the wind in the treetops. The debate continued for months. Each jungle session saw the bear, the lion, and the eagle at odds. After each session, the council animals returned and made their familiar report. Once in a while, a very small animal would make a speech, a chipmunk or a water beetle, but nobody paid much attention. Everybody concentrated on lions, bears, and eagles. The eagles worried so much about what the bears were doing, they got ulcers. Some eagles had to sip milk in the middle of the morning. It was humiliating. The bear, on the other hand, worried about what the eagles were up to. The more they worried, the closer they kept to themselves. They would sleep for months at a time, hibernating in the wintertime of fear. The eagles, sensing trouble, sharpened their talons and stockpiled steer toenails. The bears, sensing trouble, sharpened their teeth and stockpiled brass claws. Everyone in the jungle was actually unhappy, except, of course, for the Chickadee, who never allows anything to depress them. The small animals were restless, realizing that the jungle was overburdened with strong bears lying low, strong eagles flying high. It was a bad situation. However, things weren't impossible. Bears didn't really dislike eagles, and eagles didn't really dislike bears. It was all on paper or in the mind. It wasn't till the day a raccoon ate a freshwater mussel that the lid blew off. You can't do that to the mussel, screamed the eagle. Why not? Asked the raccoon, who had acted on impulse. Because it's unkind and because I have an arrangement with freshwater mussels, said the eagle. Never heard of it, said the raccoon. Well, lay off freshwater mussels. Who strikes a freshwater mussel strikes me, screamed the eagle, deaf to raccoons. Okay, said the raccoon, deaf to eagles. This concerns me, said the bear. Raccoons are my little brothers. Who strikes a raccoon strikes me, deaf to people who strike raccoons. Okay, cried the eagle, who was immediately joined by the lion, deaf to raccoons and bears. In almost no time, the bears and the eagles and the lions tangled and were joined by water beetles, chipmunks, moles, lunar moths, porcupines, jackals, ladybugs, sloths, barn swallows, and whirling mice. It was a mess. The eagles and the bears were the only ones that had real power, and they fixed everything quickly. For the next 3 or 4 million years, the jungle was silent and relaxed. Only the sound of the wind disturbed it, and the small whirling noise in some of the radio sets abandoned by the dead bears. How you like that story? I like that story. I like that. I just happened to be reading that in my writings from the New Yorker, 1927 to 1946. That was written back in, let me get the actual date because I can do that. That was written back in 1949. And I like that because it speaks highly to what I said. Little knowledge plus little information equals big ignorance. As you can see, there wasn't much knowledge going on. The information, they didn't disperse the information to all their brothers and stuff like that. The bears actually did say, well, you don't need to know. So this is what takes place today in today's world. And because of that, people start talking in sound bites. So why is this? Today this could be because of the amount of new technology is so overwhelming. Like I said earlier, we have technology coming in almost hourly now. They're upgrading something. They got the new Pokego game or something like that. That's all new technology. And it's going to become even more enhanced by those goggles that they're trying to perfect to put on. They're probably going to wait till Christmas for that. So we'll have lots of people walking into traffic. So drivers beware. So that's just a kind of something that's going to happen with technology. And here's another thing that happened. Education has not kept pace. And what I mean by education hasn't taken place, the advances in technology, science, and engineering are so quick that the basics in these skills haven't been transferred really to be able to be disseminated through the whole population in the lower grades of education. They're getting little smittens here or little smittens there. But what the educational system seems to be focusing on still is social interactions. They want all the kids to be good and sit down and have a nice, quiet classroom. And then they feel like they'll be able to teach these technologies and education and science and stuff. So if a kid just lets go a burp or something in class, trying to impress a little girl sitting next to him or some craziness like that the kids do, now it becomes a big deal in the class, and this definitely distracts and takes away from the amount of knowledge that the kids can learn. So, and this makes it really hard on those entering into college. A lot of kids go from the high school to college back to the junior college because they really didn't get the skills needed to be able to function at that level in college when they first go in. Because again, a little bit of knowledge plus a little bit of information always is going to equal big ignorance, you know? Yeah. So let's see what else we got here on my magic book. And then we got civil and societal issues. They're easy to talk about, and because most people talk only 1 minute of facts and the rest is just media-driven echoes. We saw that right there with the bear and the eagle and the lion. That was just media-driven echoes that they were just running around, and they were having great speeches when they're talking to themselves out there and they're protesting in their great meeting halls in the jungle. But then when they went back for the information to the people, it was small one. Here, read the paper. Yeah, okay. Another one, don't worry about it. You know, the eagle, I don't know, something was going on, but, you know, we don't know what that is. And we see this right today. These are things that are right in front of your face right now today. You know, we got politicians that don't say anything, but yet these people that don't say anything are the people that dictate what's going to happen to us in the future, in the present, and what happened to us in the past. It's really amazing to think that we really don't understand, you know, just how we don't know just how much we don't know. You know, that's exactly what it comes down to. So we base our opinions and we base everything, our heartfelt opinions on emotions. Whatever emotionally satisfying to us, we kind of take that and we run with it and we like it. It reminds me of looking at my clock. It reminds me of a little story that, well, it ain't story, it's a little history that I'm going to have to replenish in my mind a little bit, so I'm going to go through a song in just a minute, and then we're going to come back and talk just a little bit about that, the way the emotions affect the people in the world, okay? Here we go, we're going to go to a song.
Gordon Langford.
Yeah, Gordon Langford. Yeah. And put you on mute. How you like my story?
If you could read my love, what a tale my thoughts could tell.
I found that just this morning. I said, oh, man, that could be a great story. Yeah.
There's so much going on right now. So much going on right
Oh,
now.
yeah, we got white people being the eagles and black people being the lions or the bears and vice versa. They all interchanging. Yeah, the white people just like the bears, but they should all be like me. You know? And the eagle being the black people. Well, I want to be like that. I eat raspberries. You know? Yeah, this is definitely something that's right now. It has anything to do with anything or what I'm talking about or not, but I like it, and it's my show, so I'll put it out there for you. I hope you guys like it out there too. You know, I kind of like that. To me, it's a feel good song. But now, where was I, anyways, in my talk about the media-driven type of education or media-driven type of emotion? And like I said, that reminded me of a story. It's not a story. It's just what happened way back in the days when prior to Shakespeare. I mean, way back in the days in the about the 12th century or the 11th century or something like that. The kings had all this power, and this power was given to them by putting their hands on you, laying their hands on you. You've probably seen that in some churches and stuff. People put their hands on you and stuff. And in some churches, it transfers the Holy Ghost. In other churches, it makes you well. Well, this comes from the kings. They had all kinds of kings over there. And the kings used to be, and the people believed that the kings could put their hands on you and kill you. You know, and that's because they didn't have real knowledge of the illnesses that were going on. I think the illness that was really prevalent was tuberculosis and stuff like that. But the actual cure was coming from the doctors and the surgeons and the medicine, but that was so complicated that the people couldn't understand the nuances of the medical procedures. So the kings, they just have you put, they called it the king's touch. That's what they called it. And they would put their hands on you and touch you, and then after the disease ran its course, you would either died or lived. You know, they took all the credit for the living and blamed it on the doctors for the dying. You know, so, it was a pretty good system for the king. Wasn't that good for the medical profession, and definitely wasn't all that good for a lot of people who were sick with some form of tuberculosis. But now you look at that in the same sense of a media. You know, the media is driving what we're understanding what to be true. You know, because I heard it on Fox, or I heard it on MSNBC, or I heard it on my local news station, or I heard it on Archangel, or Chivalry. Wherever that media is, we're driving it to be true. Some things are actually true. Let me see which one. I'll probably just say for expediency, Archangel. That's and the 5 o'clock shadow. That's right. Couple of true media outlets for you. But the rest of them, they're so worried about whatever it is that they think that the masses want to hear. And it doesn't have to be a lot of thought, because small knowledge plus small information equals big ignorance. As long as the people are maintaining, the news media is maintaining a level of ignorance among the people. I'm not talking ignorance with swearing, cussing, and all that type of ignorance. I'm talking ignorance in the sense of not knowing something. You know, it's that then their ratings are going to be good, because they don't have to really do a lot of in-depth work or anything like that to find something that's going to please the medium, the masses, or whoever it is that's listening to the media. All they got to do is find something that's going to resonate at a small level, and this is what they're going to use to do this. Now, why this works so well is because it's emotions that are driving this whole thing. So you take the Second Amendment. You know, everybody thinks that the Second Amendment is just guns. There's a whole lot more to it, but we won't go into that at this show. But everybody, I got my Second Amendment right. But what about them other ones? You know, oh, they don't count. They don't count. And this is reinforced when you can have somebody who's running for the presidency, and he doesn't know how many amendments there are. You know, he thinks there's 12. There's only 10. Yeah. So it goes to show that your emotions are what's driving this whole thing. If you're a gun advocate, like your guns, or you're somebody who's really involved in a lot of fear and stuff, and your emotions are heightened because of fear, oh man, my Second Amendment rights, I need to have my gun. All the other things don't matter, because you don't know what they are anyway, because you got a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of information, so you have generated a great amount of ignorance in what's really important within the Second Amendment. Is the rights to bear arms important? As far as I'm concerned, nah. Nah, you don't need to have all that. And then a lot of these emotional driven type of responses and conversations that people have, remember again, the emotions only last, the conversation that's driven by the emotions is only going to last for 30 seconds to a minute. The rest are going to be echoes. You're going to start to repeat yourself. You're going to start to use quotes. You're going to find out some fact. There's some fact that's going to make your argument more valid than something else. It's out there. All you got to do is find it. And that's all you're looking for. You're not looking for to really find out what it is you're talking about. You're just looking for something to back up what it is you said within your little 30 seconds and stuff. So, and that brings me over to adult education. Adults And this isn't anyone's fault or anything like that. Adults start really learning after they leave high school. Some don't even go to high school, you know. And whenever they're not in a formal form of education, they tend to stop learning. That some may read, but the stuff they read is emotionally driven stuff. You know, they might read science fiction, they might read true romance, they might read the sports page of the paper every day, and they might read, you know, whatever it is. But they're not reading something that they really might have an interest in, that's going to stimulate them and maybe enhance their jobs or something like that. Because one, they don't know about it. They, you know, it hasn't been really taught to them. They don't know about what a quantum theory is, and they've heard the word, but after 30 seconds, they don't even know about Einstein. You know, it's like, who? What? Oh, yeah, we're talking, okay. So they don't know what it is that they're interested in. But they do know what's in the newspaper. And they do know what's on the TV news. And they do know what's, they don't know what's in magazine articles for the most part. Some do, some don't. They don't know what a feature article is. Some do, some don't. They don't even know what the editorial page is, or the op-ed page. Okay, all you folks, I want you to gather around close, right? The op-ed page. Are you ready? You know what that is? I know a whole lot of people are going to say, yeah, I know what that is. I know what that is. Here it comes. This is what it is. It's the page opposite the editorial. That's what it is. The op-ed. That's all it is. Sounds cool. Everybody put their own little emotional spin on what that page is, and all it is the page opposite the editorial page. So sometimes we throw these silly things out there. Yeah. And anyway, getting on back to what's going on at hand and stuff here. So you can see, even with the op-ed page, how emotions drive what you talk about. Yeah, I think you go to, it's summer, you go to a cookout and stuff, you sit around the cookout, politics are going to come up, you know, and the big caption, oh yeah, we were talking about politics, and we were talking about sports, and we were talking about this. You had 30 seconds of politics, and then everybody started repeating what the next person in front of them had said, and the person in front of him had said. So if you were the lead dog in that thing, you got to design the way the conversation goes, because most people are just going to echo and amen you to death about what it is that they think you want to hear. So I know you want to know, well, how does chivalry help? I know, because this here is all about the return to chivalry. Yeah, and we know that chivalry is powerful. This we know. Chivalry is one of the most powerful things on the planet. But it's also one of the most not done or not thought after things on the planet, you know? It really doesn't have that emotional driven type of reward that you can get from talking your 30 seconds about politics, or your 30 seconds about baseball, or your 30 seconds about whatever sport it is you want, or the great power you can say if you're in New England and say Tom Brady. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have that type of exposure. What it has is that's powerful is that it's an inward type of response you get from being a chivalrous person that makes you feel good. And when you're feeling good, your emotions can be heightened, and you can turn one of those, either the K or the little I, into a big K and a big I, because you feel good about yourself, so you want to enhance yourself. You know, so this is one way that chivalry can help. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but I'm going to play a fast little thing here from my favorite movie that I really like and stuff like that. Are you ready? Here we go.
What would you do with the brain if you had one?
Do? Why, if I had a brain, I could... while away the hours, conferring with the flowers, consulting with the rain. In my head I'd be scratching while my thoughts were busy hatching if I only had a brain. I'd unravel every riddle for any individual in trouble or in pain.
With the thoughts you'd be thinking you could be another Lincoln if you only had a brain.
Oh, I tell you why the ocean's near the shore. I could think of things I never thought before, and then I'd sit and think some more. I would not be just a nuffin', my head all full of stuffin', my heart all full of pain. I would dance and be merry, life would be a ding-a-dairy if I only had a brain.
Oh, yeah, we're back on now. Yeah, that's the Scarecrow for all you people out there who haven't seen this wonderful movie. I suggest everybody go and rent that movie and have a good time with the Cowardly Lion. We play his tape every once in a while. And now we've added the Scarecrow. And we will, yes, the Tin Man will be coming soon. The little dog doesn't talk. He don't talk. But he's the actual star, the hero of the whole thing is Toto. Yeah, well, I don't want to give it away. So you guys are going to have to do that. But can you sense the chivalry that's in that there? You know, his part about only having the brain, you know, that makes him feel good about having the brain. And in the movie, it'll go on. I ain't afraid of no witches. He's going to help Dorothy get home and stuff. That's the chivalrous, courageous act that goes on. That's why I like this movie so much, because it really has a lot to do with chivalry and just doing things for they're the right things to do. And again, now this isn't little knowledge, little information. You know, this is big knowledge, big information. As he said, because if he only had a brain, he can be doing all these things, and knowing that doing these things, that he'd be able to help people in much more ways. You know, that's chivalry, just being able to help people. And he realized that with his brain, his new brain, he could go out there and do those type of things that would make people feel real good about themselves. So motion with nowhere to go are what fuels the preceding divide among people. There's a huge divide among people. The president talked about that. He said that we're not so much divided. He's right. We're not so much divided. People are still people. They still have the same type of needs and things that everybody on the planet has. Their emotional drive is something that's different among people. You know? And I think Hillary was talking today. I was listening to a little bit of her speech earlier that she was giving. And she said everything. And Trump says everything. And then even the president says everything. But everybody seems to forget the part where give somebody a hug. Give somebody the acknowledgement of being somebody. That's the most powerful thing. Just make somebody else feel that they're somebody. And then those type of things are going to be what transfers back to you in huge ways. And that'll fuel your big K and your big I. And it'll make the big I of ignorance much, 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 much smaller. You know, and that's where we want to go to. You know, because we're a culture that everybody wants to feel superior to somebody. That's what we do in this culture. We're a capitalistic society where everybody, well, I'm better than you. Why are you better than me? Because I got money, and you don't got money. You're hungry. Well, okay. But I'm better than you because you look like an old piece of shoe dirt and stuff. You're all worn out. Nobody likes you. You live in the house all by yourself. All the windows are blackened. You can't go outside because you're afraid somebody's going to take away your money and everything. So you're better than me. Here, I'm going to bring you over a nice apple pie because I think you're all right, even though you don't. Who's the better person? Who cares? Nobody cares, you know, not really. It ain't about who's the better person, but who's going to be the one that feels the best about themselves and have the most knowledge about stuff. The other guy, he may learn a little bit about what it is to be loved and thought of by other people, but the person bringing over the apple pie, he definitely going to feel better about himself. He's going to feel as though, that's right, in my culture, this is what we do. You know, we share, we love, we give of ourselves to anybody who wants it. And we don't ask for anything in return. So him thinking that he's better than somebody, the first guy, because he has money, doesn't equate. You know, because you don't need the money, you need the apple pie and the conversation that goes along with it. Can he boost himself up to a level where he feels good about himself? He can supply the tea. You know? all he got to do is make a cup of tea to go along with that apple pie conversation. And then, you know, you got 2 new friends. What's up with that? They like each other. Instead of just trying to be emotionally driven on that selfishness of I'm better than you, so I'm gonna look at you and find out what it is that I can do to make your life a little better. You don't have to look at somebody to make their life a little better. You have to interact with somebody to make their life a little better. Because you're not going to change somebody's life. We're not going to be able to create millionaires all over the place. It's not going to happen. You know, we live in a world where some people are going to be wealthy, some people are going to be academically wealthy, some people are going to be socially wealthy, some people are going to be having a good time in sports and stuff like that. But the one thing in the world that everybody can be is chivalrous and respectful and just doing the right thing towards somebody else. And everybody can gain from that. They can all feel the love. That's what it's all about, is feeling the love. Yeah? So feeling the love is powerful, right? Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Yeah, we got the good reverend here with us. so we can get an amen on that. Yeah, so like I was talking about, I go back to my little first story and everything. You can see with that first story that the ego, you know, if you're going to juxtapose that on the problem of race relations that's going on, I don't think it's going to cure race relations. I'm not advocating in any way that I know anything about curing race relations and stuff. But that was 1949, you know, and the same old problems are still existing. The bear, he thought he was the white people. Well, if everybody just acted like me and did the things I did, that we'd have a better society and stuff like that. And the eagle, he was definitely the black person in that thing. Well, I don't like raspberries. I don't want to sleep all winter and stuff like that. Does that make me stupid? I mean, he literally even said some of the words that they use today, the word stupid and stuff like that. So, you know, that's how it is. And again, with the bear, all they have to do is be like me and let the leader lead and take care of all the things that need to be addressed and taken care of. Because I'm too busy being me and I'm special, you know. So that's those people. I'm gonna put them on the hill. They live on the hill, you know, or the 1%ers or whatever you want to call it. And again, the eagles who down there, they just I don't want to be that. I don't want to do that. That doesn't sit right with me. That's not what I like to do. My culture doesn't want that for me. You know, I want this for me. You know, this is what I like. I don't want raspberries. You know, I want apples. You know, okay, but you know, to be like me, you got to eat raspberries and sleep all winter. Other than that, you're stupid. And this, like I said, goes right along with today. And the lion's the rest of society. You know, probably the most fierce animal in the whole bunch, but he ain't saying anything. He just kind of yes sir, yep, yep. I hear you, yep. He doesn't really commit to anything, but he's He's just yesing everything. And yeah, there is the hero, the little Chickadee. He don't care about nothing. He's happy. The Chickadee is the one who just goes through life with chivalry. I don't know what real Chickadees do in the world and stuff. But in that little story, the Chickadee, he ain't going to be bothered with everybody else's little problems of self-grandizement or whatever they want to be in and stuff. His self-worth is secure because the Chickadee's going to go through life doing things that's going to help other people. Yeah? And then you got the original, the start of the story with the raccoon and the muscle. The raccoon does what raccoons do. Poor little muscle, but he eats them. That's what he does. Even though the muscles went to the major people in the thing, or the major group right there, the eagle, the powerful group. No, the bear. I'm sorry. And well, he went to the eagle. He had the eagle backing him. That's right. He went to the eagle to back. The muscles went to the eagles to get their physical backing and stuff like that. So that's what it did. Other minority groups trying to, all come together so they have some kind of physical backing against the dictates of the bear. And you saw what happened. War. That's what you're going to get. Everybody won. Even down to little mice. We ain't got anything to do with it. Everybody but the Chickadee. He's like, I ain't playing this. He said, I'm out of this war. And then it always ends in the same fashion. There is no winner. There is no loser. You just come to an agreement to go ahead about your same old business. The eagle is going to go ahead and think that I'm never going to be like the bear I showed them. The bear's going to look, well, see, told you. You should have been like me, or you would be something else. And they never even realized and looked around that most of the casualties were on the bear side. They were the ones that were really got decimated. So it's kind of hard when all you have to back up your self-worth, and all you have is to govern your life by is a little K, little knowledge, a little I, little information, and a great big large other I for ignorance, because that's all it's ever going to breed. Small knowledge, small information is always going to breed large ignorance. And with large ignorance, the only result that could possibly come out of these things is that you have chaos, and chaos is something that we don't want to have. And then you're only going to see things through the emotional lens of yourself. So if it's powerfully important to you, and then that emotional lens is what you're going to be so fixated on that you think everybody has to do like you did. Like everybody has to eat raspberries, because the people who eat raspberries said so. And the people who don't eat raspberries didn't have enough power or knowledge or information, and their emotional guide wasn't strong enough to say, I don't want to eat raspberries. They did say that, but it didn't come out loud and everything until the war started, because the raccoon can only do what raccoons do. And again, sorry, muscle, but they eat you. So, and anyway, people, if you really want to have a good time in your life and everything, this is just what I like to say. Explore life. Explore it with seeking out big knowledge and big information. If you see something and you just want to know why they're doing that. Why does a squirrel run up a tree and turn around backwards? What's up with that squirrel? Why do everybody just focus on one part of the Constitution and not know about the rest of the Constitution? Why is somebody? I'm just going to the. Why is somebody who's running for president call somebody else a name because of where their parents were born, knowing that they themselves, their parents weren't even born in this country? Doesn't even make any sense. But those are emotionally driven things. I think Donald Trump's people come from Scotland, you know, and he going to yell and scream about the judge whose people came from Mexico. The only difference in that was, you know, I guess the Mexicans didn't eat raspberries like the people in Scotland did, so they gave Trump the validity to say that. Anyway, getting close to leaving. I'm probably gonna play a song in a few minutes and everything. So I wish I had a phone so you people can call in. But again, I just want to reiterate the one thing that I really would like to, if I can get one thing to the people over there, the joy and the privilege of being a chivalrous person can't be matched by any other thing. And it is a privilege to be chivalrous. You know, and it's more than a privilege than most people would recognize today. Some people might yell at you if you hold the door. What, you think I can't hold it? They're so defensive on their own things, thinking that somebody's going to try to put them in a lower position than somebody else, that they may get defensive. But a truly chivalrous person would accept the privilege of being able to do something for somebody else. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be grandiose or anything. And you'll be surprised at things that might come that are big. People could see it on your face. Now, I think I mentioned the other day when at the Douglas, the reading in the Frederick Douglass thing, you know, I was privileged to mind the lady's kids. There were hundreds of people there, you know. She asked me if I could mind her kids while she was singing the song. That was a privilege to me, you know. I felt privileged that, yeah, I'll mind them kids. Yep, go chase birds, you know. Kids like chasing birds, you know. But that's a privilege. A privilege that, you know, you ever hold the door for somebody? It's hard to hold the door for somebody. You could get there 5 minutes before that person, be holding that door with sweat beaded up all on your body and everything, and the first thing the person comes up to, oh, go ahead. You know, it's one of the most difficult things I've ever seen in my life. People, it's hard to be chivalrous, but it's just a privilege to hold the door for somebody. You know, it's like, I got this. Go, you know, what, I'm going to hold it, go through and pass it to you. It's like a baton or a race or something. No, so all you people out there, don't give up. Don't give up. Just keep trying to do the right thing and keep trying to be chivalrous. Even if it's not going to happen, you could still have fun at laughing at how it didn't happen. There's no shame in that. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. And that's not your fault. That's somebody else's fault. Well, I'm going to leave out of here, folks. I hope you like the story. I hope you like the talk. And I hope everybody goes out there and just does a little bit of something for somebody. You don't have to change their flat tires, or you don't have to do any other thing like that. Just give them a smile, give them a hug. Just let them know that you're loving on them. And I guarantee you probably won't vote for who's president, but you know, it will make you feel better, because it is a privilege to be a chivalrous person. And that's Archangel. And I'm Trooper Joe. And I got to go with some Billie Holiday. That's that. All right, I'm out.